Welcome to a new Team CGC 9.8 video. Today I want to highlight some 9.8s under $100 to collect. And I just recently did like a $100 9.8 video. I'll throw the link up in here if you want to check that one out for a few more ideas around the $100 budget for 9.8 comics. Alright, but first one up here, it's a Star Wars The High Republic #1 in the 5th printing though. Yeah, I think this 5th printing is going to be a pretty interesting way to play this High Republic #1 key. Some pretty big potential first appearances in this one, I think. It's a first appearance of Keeve Trennis, first appearance of Skeer, and first full appearance of Avar Kriss, who you kind of get on the cover too, so that's a little bit of a bonus. But just about a month ago, there were some pretty strong rumors that the next Star Wars movie or show is going to be like Old Republic or High Republic. So I think, you know, some of these High Republic key issues, while they're still cheap in the 9.8, are making sense right now if you're a Star Wars fan. So in this 5th printing, pretty much looks like the first print. It's black and white though, and then it's got kind of the glowing lightsabers. I really like just the eye appeal of this one over the first printing. My feeling too is that first printing was really popular when it initially came out. I think it was heavily ordered. And there's already a lot of 9.8s in that first printing as well. I do like the first printing cover. It's cool that you get sort of the first appearances of the heroes on the cover. But maybe this 5th printing, a little bit lower printed, I believe. Way less 9.8s right now, although there'll be more 9.8s coming online for this one as well. But sort of reminds me of Darth Vader 3 in the first print. That was a very popular one. There's a ton of them in the 9.8. To the point where that Darth Vader 3 4th printing, I believe it is, in the 9.8 is like kind of the one to get in the 9.8. It's more expensive than the first print. So my feeling with this High Republic book is that that could possibly happen. So yeah, it'll be, you know, certainly one to keep an eye on, and probably right now one to go after at the current price. So there's 24 9.8s in the blue label for this one. 92.3% is the 9.8 percentage. I grabbed mine for $69.95 US dollars, which, you know, was a little bit expensive. There's quite a few, like the first print and a few other variants of High Republic #1 go a little bit closer to 50 bucks in the 9.8. So I think for this one though, what was interesting, the seller I'd purchased mine from, they had 5 in stock. One had already sold, so I was kind of the second person to purchase. And then like a week later, all 3 sold that they had left sold really quick. So I don't know if it was like one seller or just they got gobbled up really quick. So I think there's some appetite for this 5th print in, you know, right now in the 9.8. They were purchased pretty quickly, so I got mine for $69.95. I'd probably consider paying up to $90 for this one, especially if you kind of felt like there was that Darth Vader 3 4th print kind of potential with this one, which is my hope. But you know, if not, just one, if you're a Star Wars fan, you can absolutely enjoy this one. And I think it is a bit more of a savvy way to play High Republic #1 rather than just buying that first print where already there's over 1,000 9.8s on the census in that one. So, and yeah, again, really just love the eye appeal of this one better than the first print, kind of with the glowing lightsabers on the black and white. Just looks really awesome. So High Republic #1 in the 5th print is one to consider. And I think you can even, if you want to go the raw ungraded route, I think you can still find them like right near cover price. So, you know, dirt cheap still. All right, next one is a Ghost Rider version 2 #5. Yeah, chalk this one up as another awesome Jim Lee Ghost Rider cover of this era. But a bit of a key issue on this one, I think. I'm pretty sure, as far as I know, and as far as you know, a little bit of research this morning, this is the first time Punisher and Ghost Rider kind of duke it out and fight. So their first encounter with, you know, Jim Lee art, Jim Lee cover. This one, I think, is a bit under the radar, but definitely one you can enjoy if you're a Jim Lee or Ghost Rider fan, for sure. 57 9.8s in the Universal Blue label for this one. Yeah, that's, you know, this kind of is an under the radar secondary key issue. I'd feel like there should be more, so a 1 of 57 is a pretty awesome collector item if you like this one. 45.6% is the 9.8 percentage. So of all graded copies, 45.6% of them are 9.8s. And seeing this one sell for $99.99. I saw one sell right at $99.99. I saw one sell for $99.99 or best offer. So that might have went for, you know, $85 or something like that. So under $100 for this one. If you're a Jim Lee fan, yeah, this Ghost Rider version 2 #5 with that first Punisher versus Ghost Rider is probably one to think about. Absolutely. If you can get one of those 57 under $100, that just feels like an amazing purchase to me. All right, next one is an Avengers 682 in the second print. Yeah, this is one that was making sense for me kind of 4 or 5 months ago when I purchased mine. And yeah, looking on eBay, some of the sales recently, it's still under $100. And I know there's been some sales over $100, but I really do think this is a pretty great one to consider, under $100. So first cameo appearance of Immortal Hulk, basically, for this one. In the second printing, you get the sort of cameo on the cover. You know, the cameo is, you see him, like, it's basically like this, and it says, like, Hulk is immortal now. So borderline first appearance, basically. Like, I think there's a good argument that this is not a cameo. It's pretty much his first appearance. And then 684 maybe being first full appearance, or, you know, however you want to go. But I think this one under $100 in the 9.8 makes a lot of sense. And like Immortal Hulk, I feel like there's some potential there where, you know, I know some people were maybe speculating on Red Hulk and stuff like that, but I think it would be really easy to just sort of make the MCU Hulk that's, you know, in the MCU right now immortal, and sort of go with that whole storyline and still keep the same actor as the Hulk and everything like that. So, you know, they wouldn't have to like completely change Hulk to like a Red Hulk or anything like that. They could just make him immortal, and, you know, I think that would fit into like MCU storylines really good. So maybe there's some potential with Immortal Hulk for sure. So in this second print, 105 9.8s in a blue label. 92.1% is the 9.8 percentage. Saw a few sell in an auction just like in the last few weeks here. So these are recent prices, $71 and $83 in an auction. And, you know, I look on eBay right now, most of them are like 120, you know, kind of in that range. So, you know, if you want to get these prices, you'll probably have to wait for an auction. But I think, yeah, this is borderline first appearance of Immortal Hulk. You got a, you know, Immortal Hulk on the cover on this second printing. I think this is absolutely one to think about if you're a Hulk fan, under $100 in a 9.8 for sure. Okay, next one's a really cool one. New book. It's a Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters Boushh #1. So this is going to go down as the first full appearance of Boushh. So Boushh, you know, it's basically Princess Leia was dressed up in disguise as Boushh in Return of the Jedi, basically. So all previous appearances of Boushh in comic books have been Princess Leia in disguise as Boushh. So this being first full appearance. I do believe there is a cameo of Boushh in another sort of recent book, but this is first full appearance in Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters Boushh #1. I grabbed a few of these in the raw. Yeah, I went kind of the raw route on this one. It's one I'm keeping my eye out because I am seeing you know, the first prints of this one in a 9.8 sell pretty consistently. So I think there is a bit of an underground, like, people know this is first full appearance of Boushh, and not everyone, but there are some buyers out there right now. In the first print, only 10 9.8s in the blue label. So hopefully just a lot more will, you know, no rush on this one. I think a lot more will become graded, and there's going to be an opportunity to get this one under $100 for sure. 90.9% is the 9.8 percentage. So one seller had 3 of them in stock at $54.99. And they all sold. So $54.99 I think is kind of a price to aim for on this one. There's a couple other variants as well. I saw, I forget, it's sort of the close-up of Boushh. That variant had sold for like, I think it was $5 or $10 more, so like $60 to $65 in a 9.8. And then there's the one for 25 variant. I saw that one sell for, I think it was like $90. That was a couple months ago when it kind of first came out. I think if you can get the one for 25 variant in the 9.8 for less than 100, that would be phenomenal. But even in the first print, around $54.99, this, yeah, first full appearance of Boushh, I think is making sense. And yeah, kind of cool how, yeah, there was some earlier appearances of Boushh, but it was Princess Leia in disguise, and now, you know, we're kind of learning more about who Boushh actually is. So yeah, this one is kind of a cool one, way under $100 in the 9.8 in that first print. Yeah, $54.99 is $55, let's call it, is a price to aim for, I think. Okay, the next one's a really cool one that I was pretty excited to see that there were some sales under $100. It's a Champions #1 from 2016. First appearance of the new Champions. This one really kind of shot up there in value, and it's really come crashing down, basically. There's 633 9.8s in a blue label for Champions #1. 84.4%, the 9.8 percentage, so not really a tough 9.8, like all of these are. Otherwise, they'd be more expensive. So But a Champions #1, seeing some recent sales in an auction. One sold for $87 in a 9.8 white pages, and another one sold for $99.99, so $100. For Champions #1, this is a book I recommended this one, 4 to 6 months ago, maybe it was, on a video. At that point, some had sold for like $60 to $70, and I just thought, under $100, this kind of first appearance of new champions with Miles Morales and the gang is like a really cool one to think about. It shot up to like, I think one had, like, there was a few right around $300 in the US dollars there for a little bit. Now, come crashing down to earth, I think $87, $99.99. Maybe even, one that looked really good in the pictures, you could pay up even to like sort of $120 to $130 for this one. I actually think that's worth it. Yeah, there's some potential there with champions, with the new champions with Miles Morales. Kind of, I would say, long-term potential. Certainly I think they'll definitely come out with like a Miles Morales movie before they would think about doing like Champions or something like that. I would say a negative for this book is there's no real first appearances in it. It's just like prior heroes come together and form the new champions. So sometimes those books can really heat up at times and then, cool right down because there's no real first appearance to collect. But it is first new champions, so I think under $100 or right around $100, maybe even a little bit over, Champions #1 in a 9.8 is worth it on this pullback in price for sure. Okay, next one's a classic Batman book that is still selling for under $100. I think it's a good value. Batman 442. In a 9.8. This is the first time Tim Drake gets in the Robin costume. It's not first official Robin. Even the first official Robin, what is that? 457 or 4? Yeah, Batman 457, I believe it is. I think that one's under $100 too. So that might be another one to consider. But this Batman 442 is a cool one. 490 9.8s in the Universal Blue Label. 48.4% is the 9.8 percentage. Seeing a few sell here for $88, and another one sold for $99.99. So $100. Yeah, I think this is a cool one. A decent first appearance. Cool George Perez cover as a Batman fan. I've been so close to purchasing it. I don't have this one, and I should, being a Batman fan, but I've been really close to purchasing this one on and off over the last kind of 3 to 4 years. So it's one to think about. Yeah, $88 a few sold for. I think that's a price to aim for a Batman 442. 9.8 white pages. Okay, last one here, under $100. Some cheapo 9.8s. Daredevil 25 in the first print. Yeah, I think you probably want to stick with the first print on this one. This is when Elektra becomes the new Daredevil. Yeah, this book was pretty hot when it came out, admittedly. Yeah, a year or two ago. I forget exactly when it came out. But I think this one, yeah, at this point, you can consider this one for sure. There's a 431 9.8s in a blue label. 85.3% is the 9.8 percentage. And I do like the first print of this one. I think what happened with this one, the first print, Elektra's not on the cover or anything. That kind of came in some other sort of exclusives and things like that. But I think the first print wasn't very heavily ordered. And then when those Elektra covers kind of came out, everyone really ordered those ones. Some of those kind of variants and store exclusives where Elektra is on the cover as Daredevil. Those are under $100 too, if you want to consider that one. But I think this first print, a cool kind of Daredevil gritty cover, even though Elektra as Daredevil is not on the cover, I do really love the cover. And I do have a feeling that this is just a little bit less printed than all those other Elektra covers for this book. So I think the first print is the one to get. Seeing a few sell here in a 9.8. One was for $73 and another for $77. I think those were in an auctions. Those are really solid prices. I think a few kind of selling right around $100 as well, but $73 or $77 is a price target to aim for sure. Yeah, with these new books, when they first come out, they get pretty hot. You wait about a year, they cool right down, and I think the timing's right on a Daredevil 25 in that first printing for when Elektra becomes Daredevil. And yeah, I mentioned some of those store exclusives where Elektra's kind of on the cover, either in the Virgin variant. Like, I think the Virgin variant, I saw one in Canada for like, I think it was like $45. Buy it now, US dollars, CGC 9.8 Virgin variant of where Elektra's on the cover. That was kind of tempting as well. So yeah, a few different ways you can play this one, although I think the first print is kind of the one to get, and I do like that, the cool kind of gritty Daredevil cover, behind the bars in jail kind of cool cover on that one for sure. All right, so 7 ideas under $100 in the 9.8. Yeah, these ones are always fun. You know, there's some potential with these ones, but a lot of times I do recommend to kind of spend a little bit more money and, you know, get a really solid key issue, a really solid first appearance. But, you know, even for me, sometimes these under $100 books are just fun, and they're less expensive, certainly, but they're just fun to kind of speculate on. And certainly if you're fans of some of the characters, they're really enjoyable to have at, you know, sort of that under $100 price for sure. All right, team, we'll leave it at that though. Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already, give the video a like if you could, and subscribe to the channel. That would be very much appreciated. But thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.